The year is 1863. You're a 17-year-old cavalry grunt from Missouri on a reassignment to the west to combat an elusive adversary in the hills of a region hardly recognized by the federal government. You've heard tales of the savages from the desert where survival is nearly impossible. Your garrison is undertrained, comprised of mostly teenagers who have only shot a rifle a handful of times. You've made the almost 1,000-mile journey into a mysterious lawless land and have arrived at the foothills of a mountain fortress, almost impenetrable to anything other than the natives who survived here for centuries. Your generation dodged the Great American Civil War, but now it's your turn for combat. But this type of combat has never been seen on the domestic front. Welcome to the location of the longest-lasting American war and another episode of the White Dog Overland Experience. But what's going on, guys? Welcome to the beginning of our journey, starting here in the San Pedro Valley in the little ghost town of Fairbank. We're just roughly 7 miles to the west of Tombstone. We're right here on the San Pedro River, right in the San Pedro Riparian Conservation Area. This place is just thick with mesquites, big cottonwoods. It's really pretty. This town of Fairbank was founded just 2 years after Tombstone in the Silver Rush over there just to the east, when Tombstone was still just a little tent city. Although clearly abandoned now, at one point this little town of Fairbank had 15,000 inhabitants, working the mines, a lot of cattle ranching around here, and this was the closest railroad stop at the time to the town of Tombstone. So this was a huge hub for Wells Fargo and all sorts of other trade. Like most ghost towns, once the mining plays out, the towns quickly die. Fortunately for Fairbank, the Cochise Land and Cattle Company bought the land grant for the town, allowed some of the homesteaders to stay, and it continued operation up until 1970 when the post office had finally closed. Alright, so now that we got Fairbank out of the way, we're going to continue heading east towards Tombstone. Right before Tombstone, we're going to take a little pass. Middlemarch Road. It's going to take us up. If you've seen any of my videos prior, I've been up in this area quite a few times. But we're going to head over towards like the China Camp area, Slavin Gulch, and then from there we're going to find some old Indian artifacts. Try to find higher elevation because it's about 95 right now, and get camp made. Passed through a bunch of ranches for the first 2-3 miles. Once we get past the ranches, we start climbing up towards the foothills of that China Camp Road.
And we'll probably drop 5 degrees every 1,000 feet.
Yeah, we're gonna be at like 5,200 once we hit the Council Rock, and then up at the top of China Camp is like 65, so we can count on it being probably at least 10 degrees cooler. It's 94 here, so, high 80s probably.
We plan on.
Our second stop for the day is the White House Ruins. It was built by Charles Helms in 1882. The property functioned as a horse ranch with great success. The first incident on the property was a group of 7 Apaches making off with 28 horses. Helms and his men gave chase, but the trail went cold. Later that year, Helms was shot by one of his men and died a day later in Tombstone. The structure was named the White House, and it was a location used by the elites of Tombstone as a place to relax, as well as one of the stops for the Dragoon Express. After exchanging hands of ownership a couple times, the drought of the mid-90s left it abandoned and to be decayed. There is not a man-made structure on this planet today that could withstand a decade's worth of military barrage and keep those who permeate within alive. The Dragoon Mountains are a testament to Mother Nature's ability to create a safe haven from outside invaders. That is why the Chiricahua Apaches chose this as their fort. Massive jagged rocks formed by thousands of years protrude out from the mountainscape like giants overlooking the San Pedro Valley. These formations provide the perfect lookout for natives who sought to protect their tribe from invading Europeans. Not only was this the Apache's fortress, but a place Cochise considered to be his heaven. And after the Bascom Affair of 1861, Chief Cochise would control all of his operations from the stronghold. We began our hike up to an area known as Council Rock. Immediately met with peculiar shaped rocks, the mountains echoed with historical tales of the land. It's believed that this site was where Cochise met with General Howard to make an agreement for peace, but after researching Howard's account more in depth, the location description more matched the Slavin Gulch area. Either way, the Council Rock site was likely an important meeting ground for the tribe, a place where they could scout for invaders or deploy camp. Petroglyphs and mortars were made by natives 500 years prior to the Apache's migration, but the later tribes would add their own contributions to the rock art. Yeah, and there's two little grinding stones right there. That's sweet.
Wild as the amount of water that
Right?
seep down that.
I know.
They're all the original grinding stones still left in the ground.
Yeah, I don't know where their hive's at. It seems like it's under the rock.
Yeah, I was over there. Makes you wonder how much shit went down on this table.
Right. Imagine, dude.
I get no Mountain Dew.
Be some heebie-jeebie shit.
I mean, dude, thousands of cavalry tried to penetrate this fortress and just, I mean, every crevice, there's got to be a skeleton. And Cochise somewhere up there. Totally impenetrable.
Stronghold indeed.
Yeah. West stronghold. I feel like this side would almost be harder to combat than the east side.
For sure.
Badass, man. Behind me, this stronghold here is the reason that our state took almost 50 years to become recognized by the U.S. government, because of the indigenous people that lived here and just fought off the cavalry years after years after years. And the location we're standing at now is pretty much the reason we were enabled to become a state, where cavalry leaders and U.S. government met with the Chiconan Apaches and signed peace deals. So incredibly historically relevant spot if you appreciate this kind of stuff. Well, we made it back. It's hotter than hell out here. It's about 95, 96. We're gonna head back from which we came, take a little spur trail and go up to China Camp area. It's at about 6,500 feet, so it should cool down. There's some nice shade up there. Pretty cool road getting up there. I don't know if this car will make it, but we're gonna give it a shot.
And that just tilted the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, this is closer than I thought. It's well understood that Chinese laborers played a vital role in building the West, but the history of China Peak is quite ironic. The claim was purchased by a Chinese shopkeeper in Tombstone in 1913. The mines began operations for gold and silver, and all of its workers in the operation were white men, and owners were wealthy Chinese entrepreneurs from San Francisco. This may be one of the few times in American frontiersmanship that the status quo was broken. Oh yeah. Come on. Well, I am still 0 for 2 on tire gates. My welds didn't penetrate deep enough on this thing, and I hit a big rock coming up and pretty much broke all the welds, so back to the drawing board here, but nevertheless we made it to camp, so that's what we're here for. Well, Mellopron, I appreciate you sending me this box, but I've barely used this, and it's nice, right? You really can't hold anything in there. It's just my toilet box. Retired from being my sleeping bag box, but it doesn't close all the way. I don't know if you can see that. Came out, one of the pins, the set pins back here came out, and yep, now it doesn't shut. So you can't airtight seal this. Pretty big bummer, but at least I didn't pay for it. I'd never buy one of these boxes, and for 400 bucks, I can't personally recommend you to buy one of these either, because this thing has been hardly used and it doesn't shut. You can see that now. Doesn't seal, so can't recommend it. So what I can recommend to you guys, I got pretty addicted to these after Hayden bought one out of Australia, but swag bags. This is a crash pad. This one's actually discontinued. I got a major score on Facebook Marketplace on this thing, but I've just been infatuated with these. If you guys ground tent camp, you don't want to have a huge setup. Quick, easy, this thing is the way to go. Perfect for summertime. A lot of ventilation, waterproof, heavy canvas, ripstop canvas. These are sick. So I'm gonna set it up.
Dude, oh my god. There's like some Billy ass go. Then just get out and run it like a fucking ranger.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Yeah, basically.
Start with a heavier. He's my boss. He's like, yeah, you just take whatever you want. I asked the guy.
I have fully converted to the sandwich. No more cooking for your boy. Just eating sandwiches nowadays, and really can't beat that at all.
So they hauled it all the way across.
Shamrock, if you're watching this, which you probably are, I don't know what it's going to take to get you guys to sponsor me. I've hit you up on Instagram, told you I would tattoo this cow, your branded cow on my body for a lifetime supply of chocolate milk. So, guys, I'll do whatever it takes. Shamrock, please sponsor me. Someone, if you know anyone with Shamrock, please let them know. I need a Shamrock sponsor. I need a chocolate milk sponsor. I don't want any gear. I want a chocolate milk sponsor.
Don't need any of that shit.
No, you got enough room in there for fucking
Plenty of room.
Yeah.
I've just.
This is what it's made for.
Oh, it's so funny now when I take my dad out to like blast into trees and stuff.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, should have brought the old black light. Yeah.
Dude, I missed the shit out of this.
Right? Feels fucking good.
It's been a long time.
Oh yeah, man. Feels great though.
Is it loosened?
That one looks loose. She's on it. Okay.
Come on. Oh, Jesus, dog.
Find the gun.
That's what I'm saying, man. This is like Red Dead Redemption all over again. Aryan zone. That's just wild. There's definitely some good water. Good afternoon, Cody.
Welcome to another random camp where you just come in the middle of the night.
Yeah, just show up. I got my burrito. You know.
Well, welcome. It's a good spot over yonder.
Fucking good run.
Too bad.
No, not at all.
Chill.
Worth your excursion?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
It always is.
But at the same time, look at how easy yours is versus.
Yeah, like I'm done, and
Yeah.
I don't have anything to clean.
Mini California coming in.
You know, I just don't know how they get all the good spots. I just fucking like. Hey, brother. What's happening, dude?
Hayden,
Johnny.
nice to meet you.
I think we met at ADS a long time ago.
Alright, so we are headed down out of China Pass. It's about 10:30. Started to get pretty toasty up there. So we're gonna come down off the pass. We're gonna head north up the range, drive through some farmland. I had some back roads planned that I remembered are all locked off. We want to go to the stronghold. There's really no good way to get in there other than just taking the main entrance, and a lot of these guys have never seen the stronghold, so we're here. We're gonna go check out Cochise's stronghold. Head back this way, go to a spot I call Two Slabs, check out the old mill, and then we're gonna go up Soaring Pass and pop camp again, and that's pretty much the extent of what you can do out here on four-wheel drive. So the RAV is, once again, just handling your own phenomenally. I love this car. Seems like some of you weren't a huge fan of seeing me in this. Seems like a lot of people aren't really down with it. I understand it's kind of boring, it's just a crossover, right? But I started doing a little math and I was thinking about it. You don't really need a true wheel drive for about, I don't know, 80% of trails. I do, at least, unless you're, you know, somewhat of a dedicated crawler. Every trail you're gonna be in 4-low, but out of 28 trips last year, 5 of them I had serious wheeling action, and even then wasn't too crazy. So really, I don't need true 4-wheel drive all the time. Getting 27 miles per gallon, just really can't beat that. Great road tripping car. Like I said, I know some of you guys aren't a fan, but I'm not trying to show you what this rig is about, what all the gadgets I have, what it can do. I'm here to show you the experience of the terrain for, you know, people who want to plan to do the same things themselves. I'm not in it for what I have. I'm in it to document what you guys should be out doing. And ooh, that's my rear end. And you know, all these places that you want to go see, but no one's really documented a lot of this backcountry stuff I do. And oh, that's all I'm here to do. I'm just here to bring you the experience so you can see it for yourself, see if it's a place you want to go, and that sort of thing. It's not about me, guys. It's about bringing information to you. And sorry, one more topic I must interject here, and then I'll stop talking. But route planning. You guys know I'm big about doing these long, extensive routes, finding a mountain range, getting down, planning it out extensively as best as I can to provide as much dirt time as possible on these trips. This one, again, we're doing about 85 miles on dirt through a really tiny mountain range. So it's all accessible to you at your fingertips with this. I don't know if you can see that, with that piece of software. It's that is actually Apple CarPlay, but what's presented on there is Onyx. And I must say, if y'all don't have Onyx, you should. Johnny behind me, he doesn't have Onyx. I sent him coordinates to this exact camp spot, and he plugged it into Google Maps and ended up way somewhere else. So if that's all you're using, guys, Onyx is really the way to go. WDO20 gets you 20% off your initial purchase. If you want to plan big trips like this, it's just the way to do it. I knew that spot up there would be perfectly shaded yesterday. It would be cool. I can graph out all elevation. I can see, you know, how dense the forest area is, which direction, with the 3D feature that a mountain face is going to be, you know, blocking the sun, that sort of thing. And all done off a little, you know, $30 a year purchase if you want to go limited on it. But WDO20, once again, get you that Onyx. And if you want these routes that I planned, a lot of you ask a lot of the time, hey man, where's this? And I would love to give you that information. I used to just give it out for free, but I spent a lot of time planning this and put a lot of work in. And I mean, if you guys want to help me support the channel, I have all this information, all these trips I plan, the routes, it's all available on my Patreon, White Dog Overland. I have 3 tiers, super affordable. $7 a month gets you the top tier, gives you access to all these camp locations, all these abandoned ranches, you know, mines. I post all of that, exact coordinates, and then I affiliate link it with Onyx so you can just paste it over for your own journey. And you're really helping me take this channel a bit further, helping me fund these trips. So check it out on my Patreon. You guys can get all this information at your fingertips, cheap charge, and I'll keep doing it. History has left an ugly stain on the depiction of the Chiricahua Apaches, and all indigenous people for that matter. At one point, even myself was ignorant to the tribulations of the tribes of our great country. Prior to the betrayal of Cochise by white men, the Apaches were hospitable to those who came and settled on their land. Open to trade and offering insight on the land, the nomadic tribe didn't see the homesteaders as invaders, but all that changed when George Bascom blamed the kidnapping of a white homesteader's child on the Chiricahuas. In the span of just a few days, what was once considerable peace would lead to the longest war in American history. The Stronghold is a place where I myself find peace, as I have a deep connection to this land. My grandfather moved to Arizona in the 1950s and quickly became infatuated with the Chiricahua tribe. Growing up, I remember seeing bookshelves filled with Apache history and century-old paintings of Geronimo and other war chiefs throughout his home, as well as grinding stones and other artifacts he found out in these mountains. At the time, I had no appreciation for the history, but over the last few years something sparked inside of me. When my grandfather passed almost a decade ago, he wanted his ashes spread here in the Stronghold, so every time I visit this place, I feel a bit more connected with the mountain range. Pulled into a nice little spot here in the Stronghold. That guy's always doing something. We're gonna pop out, have lunch real quick, and then get back on the road, head up to Soaring Pass. I just wanted to spend a little time here in the Stronghold because this place is nice. This is an old camp spot of mine. I did a little solo trip back here. So, eat lunch and head out.
Oh, really? How do they track that?
If you have the insurance, is that what you're talking about?
I guess when you go to re-register, they look at mileage. Little things.
While sitting in the canyons of Cochise Stronghold, I couldn't help but remember an unusual bond between the tribal leader and a cavalry scout. Although Cochise was a fierce adversary and brutal leader, there were instances throughout his life where he showed an empathetic side. A man by the name Tom Jeffords was considered amongst the whites to be a no-good Indian lover, as he was considered by Cochise to be one of his brothers as they entered into a blood bonding ceremony. Jeffords secured peace with the natives for a short time nearing the end of Cochise's life. In a noble attempt for peace, Jeffords rode into the Apache camp late one night, unarmed, and to his own surprise, the Apaches greeted him without resistance. This meeting would secure a peace agreement between both sides and would cease the Apache raids on overland routes throughout the San Pedro Valley. In the summer of 1874, Cochise knew his death would soon be on approach. Cochise exclaimed to Jeffords that tomorrow he would die, and asked Jeffords if they would see each other again one day up there in the sky. The following day, Cochise would pass, and his body would be laid to rest somewhere between the rocky crevices here in the Stronghold. Tom Jeffords would go down as the only outsider of the tribe to know the exact burial place of Cochise. Jeffords would take that information to the grave when he died in 1914, 5 days after Arizona would become a recognized state. Jeffords was easily the most instrumental figure in ending the Apache Wars. His bond with the great tribal leader helped secure the tribe's reservation in the Stronghold, and he played an important role in maintaining peace as the Chiricahua's Indian agent. Although the peace would only be short-lived, the true story and life of Tom Jeffords was incredible, and oddly enough, he was born in the same town in New York as my grandfather. Kyle, is this the slab you were talking about?
Yeah.
We got ourselves a nice little spot, much better than the one before. Come on. Way better view. Nice little fire pit right out here on the ledge. Kind of a rough trail getting down. It'll be interesting to see how the Rav does in the morning, but I think she's got enough beans to get up that, so we'll see. This is not obstructed at all by trees. I'm gonna set up camp right here, have a little fire, and just hang out on this last night. Yeah, I do remember this. This is, oh wow.
Oh yeah.
That's like, oh, it went from 90 to.
She up there?
No, I just saw her over that way. Wow.
Yeah.
God, it is. This breeze is just blowing straight at me. It's probably, what do you think? That's like 65 degrees.
Yeah.
That feels like air conditioning.
Rose, heal up.
Take it away.
Go first. Come here.
Oh yeah, I put it on my buckle.
This is not the brightest. Holy shit. That's a big cavern there. Can't see it too well on the video.
Rose.
Oh wow. Dude, come over here, get your light up this way. Oh wow. Oh, it just connects back. Wow, that's sick.
Oh, there's upper levels. Rose. No.
Do you not enter?
Come here.
Yeah.
Come right
Out of there.
Come here.
Oh, someone's. This is a fresh line.
Stay.
Hey, down there.
Okay. Tunnel.
Tunnel after tunnel after tunnel. I wish this headlight was better so I could show the camera.
Damn, this thing is just.
It's huge. Can't see any of that. Oh, and there's the heat. Here you go, dude. Oh, all right. Well, back to camp action. God, that feels good.